Well, we're back again, and this time we have a lovely lady with us. Her name is Jolene Polyack, and she is an author. It was nice to have an author today.
Hi, Carol.
Hi,
Thank you for
Jolene.
having me.
This is wonderful.
Yeah.
So you're writing books. Looks like you're more than one at a time
I
here.
have, yes. I've written 4 books so far. I have 4
Oh.
published. I'm in the middle of writing a couple of other ones now, but my newest one is 7 Bridges, and it's available on Amazon. But
it's up there.
yeah, I got the idea for it. I was watching my kids play video games. And, you know, they beat a level and they go to another level. And I was thinking, oh, let's be kind of fun to do that with a person's life. You know, what if they're on this one level and they beat that level and then they go to another level as a different person? And it just sort of formulated in my head. I took, maybe a few months to think about it, and I just wrote it. So this is about a being, and he starts off in Atlantis, and he's born with everything. He has everything, but he's very naive because he's a new being, and everybody takes advantage of him. And then he goes from that life. The next one, he's in Egypt, and he's a young boy, and he gets paralyzed. And so, because in Egypt there wasn't a lot to do, he lays around, but then he becomes sort of helpful to other people who have problems. He's able to solve problems, and in every life he grows and becomes more and more understanding of how everything works.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it was really fun to write. I hope it's fun to read as well.
Oh, I'm sure it. I'm sure it is. And this is really. I like these little booklet styles. They're wonderful. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
When did you start thinking about writing? Was it young or sort of
Yes,
later?
actually, yes. I've always written in one form or another. It's part of what I do. I actually write articles for a local magazine, Traffic Magazine, newspaper articles. I was a journalism major. I went to Fresno State. Go Bulldogs!
Hey.
And so, and the first actual novel I wrote, I was actually sitting in church, and I was watching this lady have a difficult time getting to her seat. She was having trouble walking. She's elderly, and I happened to know that she used to be very young and very beautiful, and I was trying to imagine her back at that age. And so then I'm looking around at everybody else in church, and I'm trying to imagine all of them much younger than they are, and I thought, well, that would be interesting to play with. And so that was really my first entry into writing novels, and that is actually a 27 series. It's 3 books. The first one is Discovering the Fountain of Youth. I had to figure out a way that everybody became younger.
Okay.
And I figured that out, and then I developed the story around that. And so the first book is about what happens if that's discovered, to the person internally. What do they do? How do they share it? Do they commercialize it? Do they keep it to themselves? What happens? So in the second book, I take all of that and I move it 10 years forward. What happens to our culture if nobody's aging? And it changes everything. I mean, you have athletics that you don't have anybody leaving the athletics because they're not aging, but you have all these new people coming in. Politics, movies, it changes everything in the culture. So I played with that in the second book. And then in the third book, I took the antagonist, who is in all of the other stories, and I retell the story from his perspective. So it's everything that you read now retold from a completely different vantage point, and it just changes everything you just read.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah, the way your mind works is fantastic. I love that.
Thank
It's
you.
just a seeking thing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and and people ask, well, you outline it first, and it's like, I'm a runner, and I write them while I'm running, and then I race back to my office and get it on paper before I lose it, but it's really just kind of is structured in my head.
It's what some people call channeling.
Yes.
It's just something in the mind. The creative mind just goes into your mind, and it's easy, when that happens. Most of the time you can struggle along, but when that comes to you like that, you can just put it down.
And it's almost painful because you want to get it out quickly. It's like that baby inside of you that's been, growing and growing, and now it's like time to get the baby out.
That's great. Did you have to get trained in writing, or did it just naturally come to you?
It naturally came to me, and of course, my mom was the first to notice it and kind of kept pushing me in that direction. But I mean, it was so easy, and that's what I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't play music, but I can write. That's my thing. So,
well, it's good for you to be able to get into one thing and stay there. My problem was I had too many different talents, and I couldn't find one I could really get into.
Sink your teeth into.
The one that I wanted the most was the hardest one to get into, so that is. But it's interesting how you can focus on something, and it comes to you naturally then, because when the universe sees that you're really serious about something, it just sort of swoops in and helps you out. So.
Yeah.
That's why you've got 4 lovely books there.
4 books, yeah, and 2 other ones are in the works.
Oh, what are they going to be out?
One of the things that they talk about in church, you're reciting in the Apostles' Creed, and it's like, and Jesus descended into hell, and I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to play with what happened in hell from hell's perspective when Jesus got there? I just thought that would be amazing to play with that a little bit, because I'm sure it just turned everything upside down. It would have been horrific for hell to have Jesus there. So I thought that would be fun.
I've never thought of things like that.
And the other one is I've done 3 on the 27 series, and I've got the 4th one coming. I had so many people wanting me to not end it the way I ended it.
Oh.
So it took a while to figure it out, because I had ended it. Figure out, well, how do you unend something that you ended? But I got it down. I just need to sit down and put it into paper. I've got maybe 3 chapters written so far.
Well, that is a challenge, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
You bring people back to life, or what do you do?
What do you do? You'll have to read to find out. I did it, though. I figured it out. It's just fun. It's a really fun process. They're fun to write. I get a lot of really good feedback, so I think it's also fun to read, hopefully. And they're available on Amazon.
Oh, great. Do you have a website? Or?
I do. It's my name. It's JolenePolyack.com.
Oh, well, that's easy enough.
Super easy.
JolenePolyack.com.
Exactly.
So these books are so exciting. I think that everybody would want to grab one right away, and I certainly want to, because who would think of things like that? It's great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Is there anything else you want to tell people about your books?
No. I just hope that they enjoy them, and if they do, that they provide feedback on my website, or dialogue, ask me questions. I know my uncle read 7 Bridges and had some questions, because there's hints in there, and if you don't get the hints, it's not as enjoyable as if you get them.
Oh.
And so now he wants to go back and reread it, because he missed a couple of things that I had put in there
Well,
for the reader to find.
You don't have to rewrite the end of this one. You're okay.
I'm okay on this one. This one's kind of left open. I can do all kinds of stuff with the second one on this one.
This is 4 books, so 7 Bridges, and here these are 3 that go together.
In the series, yes.
27 book 2. Oh, this is book 1. 27 book 1. So if you want to really get into something that's interesting and different, you got to get these books at JolenePolyack.com, right?
That's right.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Carol.
And come back when you get the other book.
I
and
will.
Tell me how you ended it.
Okay. All right. I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you, honey.
Bye-bye.
That's a stop for right now. We'll be right back.